I remember I once met a guy online, which time, and he was so shocked and almost freaked out to find out that I looked him up before we met. This is now, we're already in a relationship at this point, if you ask me, but that's not what he thought. And I said to him, you should be proud of me, especially now that you kind of, I thought he was invested. Maybe I was wrong. But I was like, you should be proud of me that I do my due diligence before meeting up with a stranger on the internet. I mean, what? He didn't think I was going to? So I don't know what he was scared of, that I found out that he lied about his ex, that his ex was not younger than him. He was actually younger. I don't care about that. And also he should be glad that I looked him up and I still decided to date him. You know what I mean? Anyway, back to Bob Marley over here. So this dude on the dating site, he likes my profile, right? And then he writes to the part of my profile that says, teach me how to. There's a template there. So I put swim. He responds, teach you where? Maui, 7 sacred pools. It's nice. I go. So I look at, okay, this is what I said. Wow, I didn't know you can reply to these, meaning those templates. I looked those up, meaning the pools. Beautiful. Apparently swimming is no longer allowed though. When I looked this thing up, it's 2025 now, by the way, 12/27 at noon of Friday, February 7, okay? Apparently since 2018, swimming wasn't allowed at this place. So for him to come here flexing to strangers online about something that hasn't been allowed in 8 years. When was he the last time in Hawaii? Or at least in Maui. And then I send another message saying, these reminded me of the 7 waterfalls, El Salvador. Right? 7 swimming pools, 7 waterfalls. So at first I was like, is this too many messages? You know, because people not only have a short span now, they also can be bothered really with what you have to say. But he does respond. This is what he says. What a bummer. That's why I moved off of Maui. It's going through changes and not the best of changes either. Well, there's still some epic hidden swimming spot on that side of the island. I lived there for 10 years, so I know a ton of spots. And then sends another message. I was going to tell you, if you get both of us there and back, I'll take care of places to stay while we are there. I have really good friends there that are pretty much like family to me. We could be there for a week or 2 and never have to worry paying for a room. To which I respond, in fact, the first message, I responded with a thumbs up reaction. And then to the second message, I responded, interesting. It's taking everything I am not to unload on his ass. Because the gumption, it's not like I posted on a wanted ad that I'm looking for a swimming instructor. Let's negotiate your terms or something to that effect. And now we have to go, I live in California. I'm good on bodies of water. Yes, I'm in the desert, but relax. Dude. So now it's as if I posted somewhere and now he's responding to that with, you don't have to pay me financially. Just give me your entire body and your soul. This dude who has long, thick dreadlocks, white dude, is trying to get back to Hawaii on my dime. He's trying to pay me to take him on vacation, and he's going to sponge off of his friends over there that I have to take his word for it. I don't know this dude from Adam. By the way, that's his real name. Just kidding. I always, whenever guys do stuff like this, I always think to myself, it's one thing to be so blasé and ignorant and expect somebody to say yes to this ridiculous, I don't know what this is. This is not a request from him. It's an offer. It's another to want to mess with somebody who will fall for that. I don't know what's worse. I remember I once met a guy online, which time? And he was so shocked and almost freaked out to find out that I looked him up before we met. This is now, we're already in a relationship at this point, if you ask me. But that's not what he thought. And I said to him, you should be proud of me. Especially now that I thought he was invested. Maybe I was wrong. But I was like, you should be proud of me that I do my due diligence before meeting up with a stranger on the internet. I mean, what? He didn't think I was going to? So I don't know what he was scared of, that I found out that he lied about his ex, that his ex was not younger than him. He was actually younger. I don't care about that. And also he should be glad that I looked him up and I still decided to date him. You know what I mean? Anyway, back to Bob Marley over here. Trying to have me take him to Hawaii. Hawaii is one of, if not the most expensive state in the United States. Out of 50 states, it's up there. Probably one or the top two. I'm not paying for your flights, dude. And giving you my veg in the process. I wonder if I said to him, sure. No, I would never. I couldn't even hypothesize that. It's just so freaking absurd for me. So I live 3-4 hours from airports. Would I then have to pick him up too? What are we doing? Wow, dude. So after that interesting, I know I'm going to unmatch with him. I typed, but I didn't send. It sounds like you haven't been to Hawaii in a while. And you are looking for ways to go back there. Why not take advantage of a woman looking for love online, right? I was about to say, maybe you didn't read my profile because I've been to Hawaii. He doesn't know which Hawaii island I've been to. It just says that I was in Hawaii less than a year ago. Was it? Yeah. Because it's still February. I was in Hawaii in April. So that's what I said. And, well, I didn't send it to him. And then I was like, maybe he did read my profile. And he saw all these places that I've been to. I didn't even mention all the places I've been to in the last 3 years. I just mentioned just a few. Because whenever I read other people's profiles and I see they mention their travels or they put flags, I don't get all the flags, I hardly know the flags of the places that I've been to myself. So that's like a geography lesson. Can we not? I'm trying to figure out these dudes over here. Now I gotta understand the flags as well. Red flag is the only flag I need to know at this juncture, dealing with these dudes over here. So I was gonna say, so I'm saying he probably did read my profile and realized, man, this girl, she loves to travel. She must have money so she can pay for me too. First of all, 1,000,000% not my match. And it's always the dudes that I was going to swipe left on, that'll leave a message or a comment on a picture or whatever. And I'll swipe right just because they said something that I'm like, oh, let me respond to that. It's a good way to hook somebody, but not me, because I will respond to that message half the time and then I'll unmatch you. Like, so yeah, I was going to continue, and I thought, who cares? Just unmatch. Just unmatch. And I don't even want to wait for him to come back to me and say, oh, you find that interesting? Oh, you would. I don't care. And I love where I am right now when it comes to this dating thing. Because I'm doing this under duress, folks. I am. I was like, oh, what are we going to do? I think we talked about this and why I went online. But hint, hint, I mean, it's better than doing nothing. And if you're lucky, you might actually meet someone. So, what do I have to lose? But I had promised myself, don't go back online. Just meet him in real life, manifest him. But other things were happening in my life. Like, if you continue reading, move backwards, you'll be like, yeah, this girl needed something to do. If you and I ended up dating and you found my podcast and you're hearing this, don't take it personal. I just want to be on my own. That's not the right song. Don't take it personal. Don't take it personally. We're just talking here as friends. So instead, I think I'm going to go there and unfriend his ass. Take your dreadlocks and get the fuck. I actually love dreadlocks. This is the second guy who messaged me who has dreadlocks. There was another one who I just recently unfriended too. He was nice. He was calling me queen. I was like, I don't know about this. It's giving overkill, over queen. It was just for me. I mean, it was also at the same time kind of sweet because it could have been creepy, you know what I mean? Creepy, yeah. No, it wasn't creepy. It was just like, and said queen, queen, queen. And he had dreadlocks. It's a Latino guy. I mention their races because I feel like automatically you expect it to a black person, but it's kind of cool. It's cool. Dreadlocks are cool. I had dreadlocks for almost half of my life. Maybe a third because I'm old now. But about 15 years combined, maybe a little bit longer. So I love dreadlocks and I wish I could have them now, but I got hair issues now. But I'm just saying it adds an extra flavor to the character when you tell them the race and that they have dreadlocks. That's why. I'll end this here for now. Maybe I'll come back and add another story and post it. When I do post, we'll see. Okay, let me go to the thrift store and see what's going on. Maybe I'll walk there. Oh my God, I've been so busy this morning already. Posted on YouTube, on the podcast, on Patreon, freaking social media. I've just been post. I'm glad that I've gotten all of that done because lately I've been posting my episodes back to back every day and I've been getting around to it in the afternoon. Or around this time, I'll be doing one now, but it takes, can take hours to edit and whatever. Believe it or not, when you check the quality out of this, you're like, really? It took that long to edit this? This was edited? Yeah, it was, okay? And I'm proud of my editing. Editing is a skill. All of this is a skill. Whether you're impressed by it or not, I think that it's because it's not everybody that can do it. It's storytelling, it's editing it, it's posting it and marketing and whatever. And the YouTube too is a different kind of skill because you're doing video edits and whatever. Yeah, I think I'm going to go for a walk to the thrift store. It's exactly a mile away, actually. And then pay my water bill and walk back. But if I end up buying stuff there, and I have to walk with it, yeah, let me get out of the house. I don't know what I'm going to do this weekend. Do it. Hopefully something, because it's the second weekend of February, and obviously the second month of the year, and I haven't done anything fun. And I feel like I keep saying that. I really need to, but I've just been tunnel vision. I think my head is starting to be clear a little bit now. Okay, we'll talk again soon. It's Babala Brooke on socials. Monday, February 10th, 2025, 13:44 is the time. Obviously, I'm not going to tell you all my conversations and everything that was discussed or said online dating. But this morning, I got a message on one of the photos because you can comment on the photos. And the guy, I'm wearing a dress in that photo and heels. It's actually one of only two of all the photos that I posted, which there was a lot of them, because I wanted to show off my travels. Really, I was just excited. I was like, wow, I get to post from all the locations that I was in. I was just reliving that. They're probably looking at it like, whoa, that's a lot of photos. This girl is into herself. If that's what they're thinking, I mean, hey, at least they're thinking. The guy responds, do you like wearing heels? So I read his profile, and one of the things on his profiles is, if you like wearing heels, that's a plus. He's 5'11". That's neither here nor there. Could have been worse, could have been better, I don't know. But I had so many comebacks that came to my mind just like that. But at the same time, I thought, don't you have a podcast to post? Literally, I was working on one, and sometimes I take breaks and just go and scroll somewhere aimlessly. Not aimlessly, really, because I wanted to see, I was chatting with somebody. So I responded, not creepy at all, Craig. We'll call him that because that's his name on there, which is probably his real name. And then I unmatched. I hadn't matched at all, but when you send a message, like a response, it automatically counts as a match. Then, who else? Oh, this morning, again, someone sent, they're actually pretty active today for a Monday. They sent this guy, the first message they sent me was beautiful, to a photo where I'm wearing jorts, meaning jean shorts. They're very short. They're like ripped. So the pose that I have, you see basically from the start of the thigh all the way down. It's a good photo. It's a fun picture. I was having a skinny day that day. And I'm wearing a white shirt. It's a real fun photo. The shirt is covering everything else up, but the thighs is just legs galore. So his comment, beautiful, to me felt like it's a skin deep type thing. And what else does he have to go on the internet when he hasn't talked to me yet? I mean, he has the photos and he has all the stuff that I've written on there. So that's what else. And he chose to go with this, which, okay. So I said, oh, thank you. And I wasn't expecting, I immediately put my judgment once they sent the first opener, because, and they say don't judge a book by its cover, but that's not a cover. Is that a cover? The first message? It's not a cover. The cover is his profile. Once he starts saying words or his choice of what he's going to say first, because he can use a template thing that says, how's your day going? Which means he put zero effort. Or he can do the wave thing. That's also another zero effort. In which case I found out today I can wave back. So I clicked on the wave back too. And I was like, this is amazing. And then he sent something lazy. Back to this guy. The next message after beautiful and thank you was, are you single? To which I responded, LOL. The next thing that's going to happen now, I'm going to unfriend him. There's nothing to see here, folks. And it's funny because once you place that initial judgment, it's hard for them to come back from that. But I usually I will just be like, let's just unfriend right away, because it's not going to get better than this. It never does. Of course, you won't know if you unfriend them, because how are you going to know you unfriended them? So the guy that I'm talking to now, I'm talking to a bunch of, well, not a bunch, but like a few people. One of them, oh my gosh, why didn't I tell you this yesterday? Yesterday I was enjoying myself. Oh, yesterday was a great day of relaxation. Let me tell you what, the laundry that's sitting here, it's part put away, part here, didn't even freaking bother me. I was like, do not lift a finger. I had my feet up and I was watching TV with the heater on. It was sublime. Don't think I've ever used that word before. So this guy, he will send a message like, how's your day going? How's your day going, right? And then I'll respond. And then he'll send another one, how's your day going? Which is like, to which I will respond with a question mark. And then he will say something like, oh, sorry, I am... Something that just doesn't make sense. I'm like, is this guy high? Is he drunk? Does he have like a learning situation? Which I didn't really think it was any of that. But I was just like, why does he feel like he's not invested in what he's doing? He's not focused, is what it felt like. Not necessarily invested, not invested. And he said, sorry, I'm at work right now. I'm thinking to myself, well, what do you want me to tell you? You're the one who's typing on an app while you're at work. His profile says, this is now the intro part. I'm tired of people, something along the lines of people judging him by his cover. And it's not fair. He just wants somebody who's going to take the time to get to know him. Okay. That is one of the worst ways to introduce yourself and to try to attract a partner. You think somebody's going to read that and be like, this is the type of guy I'm looking for on this app? I don't think so, bro. Like, grow up. That is you venting. Go and vent somewhere else. You know what? Vent on your Facebook status, on your Instagram story. Don't freaking vent on here. Put your best foot forward. This is dumb. But I was like, who cares? Just exchange a couple of messages. I don't know if everyone was watching what is it called? And honestly, I don't even know Super Bowl, if it's football or baseball. No, it's not baseball. So it's football then. I grew up on soccer in South Africa and rugby, cricket, and even golf. In fact, there was a golf... oh my God, what is the golf thing called? Where people play golf? I'm not going to Google this. Sorry. Down the road, not down the road, because we lived in the woods, which obviously there was a golf. Oh my God, court? That's a tennis court. Anyway, whatever. Down the woods from where we lived. I wish we had learned how to play golf then. Instead, we had a lot of golf balls in the house that we played what we call nomlenzan. Mlenze is a leg in Xhosa. So you bounce it on the stoop very carefully, because if you hit your face, right? And then you just, whatever your legs, under it, over it. So you whatever it, under the legs. I'm not going to spend a lot of time trying to figure out the words. And speaking of lazy people, I'm not lazy. I got to go and do listings. I don't know why I even started this. But I think you're getting the gist. Then, why did I tell you about golf? So this guy, I was like, okay. Oh, I was saying maybe people were busy yesterday with the Super Bowl. I don't know. But it was kind of quiet. It was only, I think, my second weekend. So my first weekend was busy. But I've swiped a lot of people off of the face of the earth on that thing. So I'm like, have I seen everybody that there is to see? Shoot. Who else comes to mind? Nothing really out of the ordinary. It's not even because people don't suck. It's just that there's not a lot of communication going on. It's very surprising. I don't think I've talked to anybody on Saturday on that app. I'm still fairly new, just 2 weeks. And right now I'm chatting with a guy who totally not my type. I'm not talking to anybody who's my type at this point. And I have a feeling I'm not their type either. But I think they're pleasantly surprised every time I respond and I don't talk about Bitcoin or I don't talk about Forex, whatever scammer thing, or I'm not talking about WhatsApp. They're probably surprised. And a couple of them, I've sent them voice messages. I just like that there's that angle there. It's, makes it easy instead of typing. But I always think these people could be around anybody right now. Maybe it's easier for them to text than to listen. So I try not to do that a lot, and maybe I should ask somebody if it's okay if I do so. But then I'm like, the feature is here. Like, maybe they can say, can you I don't know. What do you think? The thing is, I cannot assume that everybody is in the same environment as I am, because I'm just, here in the house by myself. Nobody actually sends me voice messages in return. So who knows? But this particular one, this is now the last one that I said I'm talking to, is not my type. He seems like a, decent human being. But he will ask me at first, and I think a lot of this is me probably being jaded, if that's the word. He will say something about himself, and I will respond to it, and then I'll ask maybe more questions, and I will sit here twiddling my thumbs, waiting for him to continue answering so that it's a one-sided conversation. But that's not what he does. He actually reciprocates, that's nice. And I'm like, I keep waiting for the other shoe to drop. That's not even, I was going to say it's not fair, but it's not unfair because he doesn't know what I'm thinking. As far as he's concerned, I'm keeping the conversation going, and I'm engaging and engaged. In fact, I'm more engaged. And I like that he's doing that. And then there came a point where it said, does he want to give me a compliment? And he gave me 2 compliments, which so far I've got maybe 3 or 4 of those, maybe 3 max. And everybody, says, kind. I don't think they have a lot of choices, and positive vibes. So something to that effect, which that's nice. I always appreciate, and I never reciprocate the compliments because I'm waiting for the next shoe to drop. Is it the next shoe or the other shoe? The other shoe to drop. So he will ask a few questions and I will answer every single one of them, but that's how my brain works. I'm a very good person to chat with via text as far as I'm concerned, because I'm analytical. Every thought is going to be responded to. Every question is going to be answered. Every comment is going to be reacted to in a way. You know what I mean? Nothing will go untouched. But maybe I'm anal in the sense that I kind of expect the same in return. Why? Otherwise, what's the point? If we're getting to know each other and I've asked you a question, why is a certain place your favorite? Because he lives in a beach type city here in California, and his favorite is another beach type city, but it's something like between Northern California and Southern California. So I was surprised to hear that, because I thought it would maybe, if that's the kind of stuff that he likes, it would be where he is, and it wasn't. So I was like, oh, that's interesting. I actually lived there. I've lived everywhere. So it's like I lived there a little bit during my first certain amount of time in America. I don't want to be too specific now. Then now we know who the person is. Or they find my podcast and they're like, what the hell? So he didn't respond to that, and he answered a few other questions, and then he'll skip some. And I'm thinking, I don't appreciate it, because what are we going to do now in the future? Let's say there's a future, even if it's a couple more days, and then somebody gets, unmatched, as they all end up being. What's going to happen? Do I then, because I still have those questions, right? They're still not answered. Do I then ask them again and hope that he's going to answer? I hate that shit. There's nothing I hate more than repeating myself. I don't like that shit. It's a pet peeve. And so I clicked on that. When you click on reply and it quotes the text that you're replying to, and I pointed up, so he answered that question again. Sometimes when I talk to somebody and they don't answer, well, click on it again and I'll point question mark. And it probably comes across as, what a bitch. And at the risk of sounding arrogant, I really don't care right now. Then unmatch me. Maybe I'm not desperate or desperate enough because I really can't be. It's whatever, dude. You know what I mean? Because if you, in my head, right? If you're wanting, by all means, to impress this person, you may even go back and listen to it again, or go back and read again and realize, oh my gosh, you didn't answer this one. That's how I am. And I don't expect everybody to be like me, but I really, really do. So, talk to you next time. This is probably long enough. Maybe I will post this in this length and then we'll start another one with the little updates. All right. It's Bubbling Brook Podcast on Facebook and Instagram, and at Babala Brook for me. If you want to go on there, slide into my DMs and ignore my messages, ignore my questions. And babalabrook.com is the blog. YouTube, babalabrook.com. It's just Babala Brook across everywhere. And we're also on Patreon for extra content, a lot of unedited stuff, way more content. No pressure though whatsoever. And if you want to check my stores out on eBay, is The Lovely Brook, My Brook, Tracker Brook, and The Brook. I think that's it for now. I should tell you, I'll put a link to my dating profile so that if you want to date me, no, I will know. You know what? Maybe I should. Talk to you soon. Toodles. P.S. This dude, we were talking about travel, right? And I said, tell me more about your long drives. On his profile, he says that he enjoys long drives. I said the same thing on mine. So, hey. And I said the furthest I've driven recently was to Ensenada, Mexico. But I've done longer drives during my time as a cross-country truck driver. Okay? I'm giving him a thing to hold on to and work with here. He does that thing of not responding to. This is prior to what I told you already. And just now, I happened to go and check over there instead of working. And one of the last things, he had asked me about his city, if I do visit there. And I said, I went there often because I delivered at a Costco there when I was a truck driver. And now, this is me, when I mentioned this when I was a truck driver, it's a follow-up because in my head, he knows this now because I've already told him, right? And I'm building up on that. And his response is, wow, you used to be a truck driver? He probably thinks, oh, this is great. She's going to think I'm so interested in this conversation. No, that's not what she's going to think. She's going to think you're not paying a freaking attention. So, me being myself, sorry, you guys, maybe I'm showing my true colors and... Sorry for the cracking floor, by the way. And you're going to be like, no wonder he's single and for so long. So I said, yep. And then I went to the one where I said when I was a cross-country truck driver. I clicked reply on that. I know some people will say it's passive-aggressive. I don't think it's passive-aggressive. I think it's direct or aggressive-aggressive. But I don't think it's aggressive at all. So I point up at it. Because now I'm supposed to be like, yeah. And then he's going to be like, tell me about, and I used to drive cross country. I already told you that. So I did a reply thing and quote my own text, and I pointed to it put a finger that points to it. I use that finger so much. No pun intended. If you type 1, I know iPhone, that's how it works. If you type 1, it shows you that finger because it's 1 pointing up with the index, right? So I typed 1, it pointed up, and I sent. I don't care if he unfriends me. I don't care what that tells. I don't care if he's going to think I'm an angry black woman. I don't care what he's going to think. I don't care. What about my thoughts? I'm thinking you're being very wishy-washy, and this is going to... We're lucky if by this time tonight, which obviously I don't want to be talking to him, at 2 a.m. because it's 2 o'clock now. Anyway, all right. Let me leave you to it. Let us die. I'm in the middle of a work day, and I just remembered that I didn't finish the thought here. I was like, am I going to remember this in the future when I post that? Why don't I just quickly add this onto it? So welcome to a 3-hour episode that started as a 30-minute one about a guy whose introduction says something along the lines of he's sick of people just judging him and not getting to know him, etc. We chatted, right? And I asked him, and he was at work, like I said. I asked him if his photos are recent. And he said, yeah, why? Or how do you add more photos on here? And I said to him, no, I mean, you don't have to add more photos. But I looked at his photos again, and I realized he only had like 3. And they're all half selfies, like half card, as they said, we say in South Africa, meaning from the waist up or the chest up. But I said, I mean, a full photo would be nice, I guess, but no pressure. What I really was interested in knowing was when the photos that he had posted were taken, because the first few, he looks decently healthy. And then the very last one looks like it's snuck in there in hopes that you may not see it. And he doesn't look good at all. He looks like he might even be under the influence of something, which to me gave the impression that must be the most recent photo. Why would you put a photo like that there? Well, I guess when you listen to the next episode, which I've already recorded the beginning of, maybe for the same reason that guy posted that photo on there. So anyway, I didn't want to say that to him because he's already walking around with his insecurities of being judged by his cover. Well, your cover looks like it's under the influence, sir. What do you want us to do? And from our talks, he tells me what he does for work. And I'm like, where are you based where you say you are? Yes, but this job is at that place. I'm like, oh, the thing that you do, he has 2 jobs. The thing that you do is something that I've never done yet, the place that he works at. It's some kind of a sport. So I said, I've never done that before. And he said, yeah, let's go. And I thought, And I like the city that he says he lives in. So I'm like, is it based there too? He said, no, the next town, about 30 minutes from where he is. So that was even easier to look up because it was a much smaller town, and it's the only sports type of building of its nature in that town. So literally I said to him, I've already looked it up. And he said, yeah, that's the one. They have great ratings. It's so funny, like, I've looked up so many people's businesses on this because literally they put the name of the business that they work at or that they own. I don't know if it's a way of marketing because I have my podcast name on there too. So, and because I've already found this information now, it was not hard to find this guy. The business has its own social media. So I looked up who the business follows and who follows the business. And because I know his first name, I punched that in there and he came up. He had active stories, and I did not want to make any mistake. And your thumb, when you scroll on social media, you know how it is when you're on the internet. They put things in places where you're likely going to press, that they want you to press on, that you possibly will not be wanting to push on. So I'm like, please, Lord, don't click on his stories, because he's going to see who looked at his stories, and he's going to see me with all the photos that I have on the site. He's going to see that it's me, literally like my name. So I scroll his photos. 2019, we're in 2025 now, is when the 2 photos up top were taken. Not that recent, boo. We're talking 5 years. 5 years. Whatever, who wants to do math now? I guess he didn't want to do math either. And I'm like, I feel like this guy probably has something going on with his teeth. I don't have perfect teeth, but I have very clean and very white teeth because I take care of them, of the ones I have left. No, seriously. So it's one of the things that make him look interesting. So I'm like, let's see if that photo is just fuzzy or he really has got a situation there. We're snooping now. I don't mind telling him that I found his page or whatever, but I don't think that it's necessary. I scroll and scroll and scroll, and probably the very first photo that he ever posted on Instagram is the one that you can barely see his smile. I was, yeah, something's definitely going on with this person's teeth. And this photo was taken more than 5 years ago, maybe 6 years. This is not somebody who is trying to do anything about this. He instead of him doing what is necessary so that to decrease the chances of being judged by his cover, he's not doing anything to fix his cover, okay? In fact, he is guilt-tripping you to not judge him. I was like, this is a character flaw. It's not even a dental flaw. I was going to say it's not a dental flaw, but I'm like, it's not a dental floss. It's not a dental flaw. It's more of a character flaw. But, I'm not invested. We're not, whatever. So that was the end of that story. I did go check his profile again because I did tell him how to add more photos, and something just said, let me double check. And I saw, he didn't tell me that he did, but he did add 2 full length photos. What would have been nice if he had said to me, I did add the photos that, as per request. That probably would have strengthened our bond. But it didn't happen, and I did see them. And when I did, I was like, obviously I've already seen all his photos. These are also from 2019. 2019 must have been a really good year for him. And apparently he has dogs, and he likes to do like the racing stuff, drag or whatever, just like fun things, whatever. Good for him, he has his hobbies, and it's neither here nor there for me. And understand, sorry, I just cracked my fingers. I am the big age that I am, so there are certain things that are just out of pure age group, I think that I'm gonna have to pass on, including this guy. But I'm prepping you for saying, I was like, this guy, I think he's probably renting a room. And you know what? If you're renting a room, I'm very happy for you. And thank God you're not homeless. And maybe you even have more money than most, including myself. I'm just saying, I'm not trying to date a guy who's renting a room. I can't be around a lot of people, too. Just as a general thing. And I was like, is this guy sleeping in a futon? What is... I don't think the guy is poor or anything. But I'm judging him by the stuff that he's putting out there. And you must understand, when you put certain things online, it's just like, and I think I may have said that in the future episode, because I can do that, time stuff, moving back and forth between the future, current, the present, and the past. But it's not just about the fact that you live in a room. And maybe it's not even about that you've taken a photo of yourself or a video of yourself, maybe playing with your dogs on your futon in your room that you're probably renting. Or you're not even renting, you live with your grandparents or parents or family member. It's not even that. It's that at my age, that's his age too, you're comfortable to post that. Is that a bad thing to say? It's that he's comfortable where he is. And he should be. Dude, you should see where I'm comfortable. I've already told you how the situation is in the living room, and I still sat there and I watched TV. I was not bothered at all. That's how comfortable I was. I'm not trying to post it, but maybe, however, look, I'm posting it because I'm telling you about it. So let's really not try to make this 40 minutes long. But there really are certain things. I can't wait for you to listen to the next one. I haven't, obviously, said everything on there yet because I just talked a little bit about this one interaction. and I'm not going to tell you about all my interactions. It's just things of note that I feel like talking about in the moment, that if I had people in my life, I'd be like texting them or whatever. So I just come here and compile those short stories and put them out there. I know that somebody out there will be able to relate. And hopefully by then, you all will not be as shy as you've been, and you will reach out to me. Thanks.